Good evening and welcome to Mariners Baseball. I am the Rooftop Sports, and as you know, the Mariners had just successfully came off of a 3-game sweep against the Cleveland Guardians, and here we are where the Mariners are hosting the Boston Red Sox. They are hosting the Boston Red Sox for a 3-game series, and must I say, it's never going to be an easy series, especially for a team that's 37-36. But however, the Mariners, the Boston Red Sox had just traded away Rafael Devers because he believed himself that he was never going to be a first baseman because he actually believes he's a third baseman. Oh, and Joe Stevens already donated $5, and thank you very much, Joe, for already helping out. Let's get this show on the road. The magic number will be 45 as we are starting in about 1 minute. And for any of you that are following my YouTube channel, you may have noticed that I put out a possibly controversial video on Julio Rodriguez because Julio Rodriguez is obviously not off to a good start, or he's actually been playing a little bit better in the last few months, or not last few months. What I'm talking about, we're talking about the last few weeks, and people are actually justifying like, Logan Gilbert's actually starting. I didn't even know that Logan Gilbert was starting. I should have put that in the title going, Logan Gilbert, well, welcome back. Man, and there's this article by Luke Arkins, and I think I'm going to read this one of the commercial breaks, and it says that he is defending Julio Rodriguez. Some fans are judging Julio too harshly. At least that's how I see it. Luke Arkins. He's like, let me tell you who exactly Luke Arkins is. He's someone that's like very passionate on basically defending mediocrity and will come up with every bit of excuse. Oh, and by the way, here is the first pitch brought to you by SeatGeek, the pitch. And that is going to be up high for a ball. And we are underway here at T-Mobile Park. Kind of makes sense why Logan Evans was sent down. Now we have Logan Gilbert as our starter. Jaron Duran is the player, the batter. Now the pitch. And that is going to be a ball once. That's going to be a foul ball. It looks like that's going to be strike one. But yes, I made an arguably controversial video on Julio Rodriguez. It has gotten some views. It's at 53 views so far. So it's actually off to I would say at my level, a pretty decent start. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. As we're at 1-1. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball, 2-2. Now we're at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Now here's a ground ball foul. As we're stuck at 2-2 so far. As he is struggling to get him struck out. And now we're going to try this again at 2-2. And now here is the pitch. And that is going to be up high, 3-2. Full count on Jaron Duran, who does hit well against the righties. Up next is going to be Abraham Toro. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And now we got one away. And now up to the plate is we got a former Mariner in Abraham Toro, which I do think the Mariners gave up on too early. And to give some perspective on who Abraham Toro is, Abraham Toro was actually part of the Kendall Graveman trade, the very controversial Kendall Graveman trade. And he is batting .317. He's off to a fantastic start this season. The pitch, and that's going to be popped up to center field. And Julio, actually, no, it's going to go to J.P. Crawford. And he makes the catch, and that is going to be 2 outs. And just 8 pitches, we got 2 outs. Everyday Mets with another $5 donation coming in. I think I am just absolutely on fire. Thank you very much for the donations, Everyday Mets. And now the magic number is 40. And if it happens again, it will be my second time making it to the $50 mark. And now here is Anthony, who's batting 059 the pitch, and that is outside for a ball. If anyone else can reel in another $5 or more or whatever you got, $5 or less, do it. Help me get to that promised land eventually for the YouTuber. And now we're at 1-0 the pitch. And that is going to be in there for a strike. Strike one. Other ways to help this channel is also join my membership on the YouTube Super Chats. Just $5 a month. You can always get access to my fantasy baseball content and softball, the pitch. And that really should have been a strike, but that is going to be ball two. But it did say it was out of the strike zones, just slightly. But yeah, I'm going to go over Luke Arkin's article and see what it's all about. Now the 2-1, and that's going to be right down the middle for a strike. And during commercial break, after I show off some, I guess, some pizza, and now we're at 2-2. And now here's the 2-2 pitch. And now here's a fly ball drilled to right center field. Forget about that one. That is a home run by Anthony for a batter that is batting 059. He hits his first home run of the season, and it's the Mariners 1, and it's the Boston Red Sox 1, and the Red Sox nothing. And just at, you feel like at a blink of an eye, the Red Sox score already. Yep, that was just absolutely just drilled to right center field. And the worst part is, it's not even their best hitter. It's their worst hitter on the team, and he's still hitting bombs off the mighty Logan Gilbert. And now here is Narvaez. And now here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike one. He went all the way down to the middle. I know, I did it again, Joshy. And Josh, if you want to come on, I think it makes sense for you because you are you had Alex Bregman on this team, on your team. Now the 0-1, and that's going to be a foul ball, foul back, strike two. So yeah, if you're up for joining, let me know. Now we're at 0-2 for Carlos Narvaez, and Josh is coming on. And now we're at 0-2 for Narvaez. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball and fouled. He's batting .286 thus far. Oh and 2 on Narvaez. And now here's the pitch. And low for a ball, 0-2 or 1-2. Man, I've been off today with all my calls. I'm saying it's the Red Sox this, the Mariners this, and now I'm missing out on strike and balls. So many bloopers. And now we're at 1-2. And now here is the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike three. Aside from the home run that was given up, that was a pretty good inning for Logan Gilbert. Just happened to have an oopsie pitch. And he gave up a home run to an 059 guy, which absolutely makes no sense. But we will go into
that is baseball.
Inning. I don't care. No excuses. But speak of excuses. Okay, what do you want to see first? Do you want to see the video I just made? Or do you want to see an article where a Mariners writer is making excuses for Julio? Which one sounds better?
Oh, the video you just made.
Yeah, I did spend some time on it too. Yeah. Here it is. And right now I'm just going to show the intro and, well, yeah, pretty much the intro.
You look comfortable in center field. If you had to play center field in a big stadium with an extra deck on it, you can handle that? Yeah, come on. I think it's time for it. It's time. Bring on the J-Rod show.
Julio Rodriguez. This guy is fun to watch. A young, budding superstar.
Never gets rattled. You gotta love his personality.
Capture the hearts of baseball fans around the world.
Face of the franchise already.
This is what a superstar looks like.
Julio tagged it, gone! Goodbye, baseball! Man, this kid is something.
I tell him every day he's the best player in baseball.
Julio Rodriguez.
Tying runs on, and he got him. There's your up and in.
He's also striking out and chasing way more this year. With Houston right on their tail, Seattle desperately needs Julio to come back to form.
You can't call Julio Rodriguez a star.
Well, I think the past couple years he hasn't played like her. He needs to do more if he needs to be the star. He needs to be more.
There was a. Well, that is the intro so far for the video.
Good, let the rage fill you.
AJ Hinch had taught you well. No, wait, no. It would be Edgar Martinez has taught you well. I will not fight you, Jordan. You are unwise to put in Robbie Ray. Your thoughts betray you. I feel the conflict. Here is J.P. Crawford, now the pitch. And low for a ball. J.P. Crawford, who is batting .296. And one of the reasons why I think J.P. Crawford's having a good season is because he has the pressure of literally 3 shortstop prospects literally on his tail. Now the 1-0. And it's 1-1. And the most threatening one is Colt Emerson. Cole Young.
Incentives.
Cole Young, he's Cole Young. He's second base, so whatever. But Colt Emerson and Philly and Celestine, yeah, he has a lot of reasons to be stressed and snappy.
Yep.
And now the 2-0 pitch to Crawford, and that is up high for a ball. Look at that. He's being a lot more patient this year at the plate than he was last year. Last year, he was chasing it like no other. Career versus Lucas Giolito. He bats 2 for 4 with a home run, so maybe there's a shot.
Yeah.
And now the pitch. And that is actually going to be in there for a strike. The umpire's not going to give it to him. As that's going to be 3-1. And actually, that was actually right in the strike zone, too. Kurt Homestand, he's batting .636. Now the pitch. And that is ball 4, take your base. So much for the ballpark suppression. It certainly has not worked on J.P. Crawford. So what's the excuse there?
Oh, there's always an excuse. You just
made by Mariners fans.
Just give it some time. Or no, you could say, your thoughts betray you. I know exactly where this pitch is going.
Well, now we have Julio Rodriguez, where his thoughts always betray him. He's batting .261, 10 home runs, 34 RBIs. The pitch and a big swing and a miss. Like, so many. I always hear all these excuses about Julio Rodriguez. I just can't help it, but I always do. And it just bothers me because they're like, well, at least he's hitting 10 home runs. It's like 10 home runs up to this point. That's not good at all.
You know what this also kind of sounds like? Star Wars fans defending Andor as the best thing since sliced bread.
No, worse. Star Wars fans making excuses for Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
Well, okay. Rise of Skywalker, I can say, literally, it was all screwed up because of Last Jedi. There was not much you could do.
No, it was already over.
Yeah, that was just throw something.
0-2 pitch. Now here's a ground ball, double play ball. Throw to second and a throw to first. And that is in time for the double play. And I think that's where you can say the points of my video have been well validated because of something like that.
Already,
I've had at least one person going, how could you say that? You're such a hater. I'm like, no, he needs accountability.
You could almost say you're a Josh hater.
Josh hater, yep. And now it's going to be Cal Raleigh up to the plate, and he's got to get it going. The pitch, and that's going to be right in there for a strike, and that is an 0-1 count on the big dumper. Cal Raleigh has not really hit a home run in quite some time. He has 26 home runs. The pitch, and that is going to be in there for a strike. And for anyone that cares about NBA news, It looks like the Oklahoma City Thunder are probably on the verge of winning Game 5 as they are winning 59-45. And some say that the referees had a part in Oklahoma winning that game, and for 2 reasons. And now we're at the 0-2, and that is low for a ball. And the 2 reasons are possibly to keep the series going, to get the more ratings up there, because Game 5 with 2-2 sounds a lot more marketable than a Game 5 3-1, and also to mess with Seattle fans' emotions.
Well, also, let's face it, for how much these leagues are now connected
1-2.
to sports
Now here's a
betting.
fly ball to center field, and he makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. And we go.
Oh, that Marine later.
Well, back to the Marine layer complaint. All right, let's go back to the video, the Julio video. And when you hear it, do you hear it well enough?
Yeah, I hear it just fine.
Okay.
Time, and it wasn't that long ago when Julio Rodriguez looked like the second coming of Alex Rodriguez and Ken Griffey Jr. mashed into one. He was 6'4", 225 pounds of freakish muscle. He could fly, throw, and crush balls over the fence, smile like a movie star, and pose like the face of a franchise. And in 2022, in his first full MLB season, he did exactly that. That year, Rodriguez was electric. He finished with a 6.2 wins above replacement, a 147 OPS plus, and 28 home runs in just 132 games, and made it look effortless. He was named Rookie of the Year. Mariners fans who have been starved for greatness since the heyday of Griffey, A-Rod, and Ichiro finally had their guy. They gave him a $200+ million extension. They made him the face of Seattle sports. He was supposed to be the one to bring the Mariners back to relevance. But here we are in 2025, and Julio is a shadow of that player. Not bad, but not great and not elite. And most of all, not what Mariners fans are paying for. Not what they banked their entire rebuild on. Not what they marketed as their next superstar. This is year 4. The excuses have dried up. It is time to stop pretending that it is just a slump. In this video, we'll break down the tale of 2 Julios, what's gone wrong with the Mariners' supposed superstar, and what comes next, after a word from our sponsor, SeatGeek.
Yeah, I don't think SeatGeek, use that promo code Rooftop Sports to get $20 off the purchase. That is the promo right there. And now we're back from the break, and now here is the pitch, and that's a ground ball. Actually, that's just a foul ball.
That's kind of hilarious that the Angels and the Yankees are in the 11th inning
with no
at
score.
the Mickey Mouse Stadium too. It's not even in Anaheim.
What, Mickey Mouse Stadium? Like they're playing somewhere else?
Well, no, they're playing in New York.
Oh, New York. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2.
But it's a Mickey Mouse Stadium. It really is.
It's like a high school stadium almost.
And the only reason why they were able to get away with that is because they're the Yankees.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want. And now the pitch, low for a ball. And this is Mayer, who's batting .224, and I don't think Alex Bregman is playing today. He's not.
He's been. I think he's been injured.
Yeah, let's see what the reports are. There's no reports on him right now. Now the 1-2 pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to Rowdy Tellez, the Burger King man. He gets him out.
I did like my code for his home run hits. And I just thought that up on the fly too.
Huh.
Okay, let's see. Latest Red Sox injuries and transactions.
Now here's Trevor's Story up the plate. Now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike.
Yeah, Bregman has a right quad strain. And he's expected to return sometime in July.
Trevor's Story. And now here is the pitch. Low for a ball. That's going to be 1-1.
So what are your thoughts on the Devers trade?
I'm still trying to figure out who they exactly gave up.
Okay, I will pull it up here.
Now the 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Yeah, it feels like the San Francisco Giants gave up almost nothing for him.
Yeah, the only thing that was really hurting is they have to pay all of Devers' contract now.
Oh, well, the Mariners would have had to as well.
The Red Sox are not there. It's completely off the books now.
Oh, wow. And now the 1-2. And that's going to be a foul ball.
Looking at this article from MLB.com, while the Sox get very little in return in terms of player compensation, they rid themselves of roughly $250 million.
Yeah, now the Giants are absorbing that, but they're willing to take that risk. Now we're at 1-2, and now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, another strikeout for Logan Gilbert, and he is pitching an absolute gem, and that is going to be 2 outs. He has had strikeout number 3.
They got 2 pitchers, that being a right-hander, Jordan Hicks, and Kyle Harrison, who's a lefty, and then 2 prospects, Jose Bello, and then James
David Hamilton.
Tibbs,
That is up high for a ball.
Who in the Giant system was their number 4 prospect.
David Hamilton has a 1-0 count on him. He's batting 188.
Which,
and now
honestly,
the pitch.
That prospect's probably going
now
to
here's a fly ball. Actually, no, it's just a pop-up, and Cole Young is calling for it, and he makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side, and that is a 1-2-3 inning for Logan Gilbert. We go to the next inning, and I'm actually going to mix it up this time. I'm just going to read the article because the video can wait. But here is the excuses article that Luke Arkins, a guy I totally beef with, this is what he wrote. Let's take a look at this.
Okay.
In his first it goes, defending Julio Rodriguez. Some fans are judging Julio too harshly. At least that's what he sees, of course. In his first 3 big seasons, Julio Rodriguez has been Rookie of the Year, won 2 Silver Slugger awards, appeared in a pair of All-Star games, all before reaching his 24th birthday. Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr. reached probably 5 by then. Yet, a vocal segment of Mariners Twitter is not impressed, including me. Complaints about Julio Rodriguez includes he's regressing, not clutch, overrated, and overpaid. The overpaid part, I do agree that complaint that he's actually has a bargain of a contract.
Oh, he does.
Quite a mouthful for a player with a career WRC plus of 128, which happens to be the 5th best among Mariners with at least 2,000 plate appearances. Personally, I don't get the Julio bashing. Well, the fact that he's not batting 270 and only has 10 home runs will do it. He's the most talented Mariner and one of the most valuable contributors on the team. Let's turn to I swear, this guy looks like he only just looks at numbers. I don't think he.
And also, I'm going to say with a WRC plus of what was it, 128?
Yeah, it's not that good.
Yeah, that's only 28% above, quote unquote, average.
Yeah, knowing Julio's talent, it should be a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Last year in 24, he was below the 100. The contention that Julio has slipped is true. After boasting an 8th best WRC plus as a rookie, his WRC plus fell off to 54th last season. Entering today out of 70 qualified hitters were better than the all-star center fielder. And now we are back from the break, and now here is Jorge Polanco, and that is low for a ball. And we'll get back to that article in the next commercial break because I just want to see what they're saying. And it looks like they're talking to Emerson Hancock. Yeah, they're talking to him. I find that distracting. The pitch, too. Oh, inside that nearly got him, and that is going to be a 2-0 count on Jorge Polanco. And they're talking to Emerson Hancock because he had a really good game yesterday. That huge Mariners shutout that they did have. And now the 2-0 pitch, and that's going to be a ground ball foul. That was an advantageous pitch for Jorge Polanco to take on. But he doesn't really get much on it as he fouled the ball. Emerson Hancock has already pitched 62 innings this season. He's actually had a pretty decent season thus far. And now the 2-1. And that's going to be a foul ball again. And that is a 2-2 count on Jorge Polanco. We're at 2-2. Polanco's batting .262 this season. And now here is the 2-2 pitch. And that is going to be low for a ball, 3-2. And shockingly, Polanco is the cleanup hitter, while Randy Arozarena is batting fifth, and he is on deck. The poser man. And now we're at 3-2, the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. He really shouldn't have swung at that one. Still going to be 3-2.
No. Keep swinging. Just swing
cute.
at it.
Cute.
Just, it's simple. You just get your bat like this, and you swing at it.
Yeah, whatever. Like this. How about this big boy?
Oh, yeah, definitely. No. Try to hit it with
Now
this
we're
tiny little thing.
3-2. And a swing and a miss, strike three. And he took your advice, and that's going to be one out.
You got to use the force.
Gotta love these guys.
Yeah. The last time I said that, we had a player swing at dirt.
Dom Canzone.
Yeah.
And, every time he does go up to the plate, I will play that video. And now the pitch to Randy Arozarena. And that's going to be in there for a strike. And Randy Arozarena dropped his bat for whatever reason. And now we're at 0-1.
He didn't need it. He's just going to whack it with his hand.
His bare hands.
Yeah. No. He's going to pull,
The 0-1. Low for a ball. And I want to keep going on this article. Still, Julio's history suggests that he may be positioned to have a monster summer. You cannot bank on that. To see what I mean, let's compare his 2025 season to previous campaigns at the same point, as we got the 1-1 pitch to Arozarena. And now here is a blooper to center field. Nope. That's going to be caught by the center fielder. And now we got 2 outs already. And this is going to be Rowdy Tellez, the Burger King man. Following Saturday's win against Cleveland, Rodriguez had played 68 contests. A review of his production through 68 games from 22 to 24 reveals that the native Dominican Republic has similar numbers in his freshman year. Okay, I get it. That's great, but you can't bank on him having a better summer. The pitch.
Well, that would be like me saying, "Oh, Jose Altuve in 2017 had MVP level numbers. Therefore, he should have MVP level numbers coming up."
Yeah. Now we're at 1-0 for Rowdy Tellez, the pitch. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, and that is strike one.
Or saying, Ichiro after his 10th season, he's hit 200 every season, so therefore he's going to hit 200 again.
When he's 50 years old, the pitch.
Yeah.
And then we're going to scream, World Series, baby.
Hey.
Were you live when you saw that?
Yes, I was in the chat room.
You must have had a meltdown when you saw that.
Oh, I was laughing. I was laughing a ton.
And now we're at 2-1. And that is going to be a strike 2-2. Continuing the article, another factor fueling my optimism is Julio's record over the final 3 months of 22 to 24 between July and August. His WRC plus is no worse than 18th in the last 3 seasons. It's like, okay, great, but we can't have that. He's basically excusing that he can have a bad start as long as he makes up second half. But what if he doesn't? The pitch.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss at the dirt, strike 3. And it reminds me of this. The 0-2 pitch.
You gotta love these guys.
I mean, he literally just swing. He literally just swinged at
None
the
of those
dirt.
were in the strike zone.
It wasn't even in the strike zone, and he just swinged it. Like, why?
Like, literally, that wasn't Taylor Scott being good. That was just you just swinging at crap. Huh.
Yeah, that's another iconic one. Okay, let's keep moving.
You go.
It's worth noting that Julio has already begun to heat up entering Father's Day. He's boasted a 315. Okay, blah, 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 blah. So basically, this guy is just rambling about stats from the past and a little bit of the last couple weeks, which further validates my point that he's streaky.
Yeah.
This article is basically saying nothing. I hate to say it.
It's just a giant nothing burger.
It is a bunch of... Oh, heck, rightfully so. Emphasis production at place. It's 2022. Significant. Oh, more center field innings. Oh, participation trophy, right? He's played more innings than every other center fielder.
Congratulations.
So you're playing.
Give a crap.
This season, he only This article doesn't even explain anything.
It's just all like, oh, I love Julio Rodriguez, so everyone must be right. You know what this literally does sound like? Someone who is just completely bashing everything else and saying Andor is the Lord and Savior, and if anything is not Andor, it's complete garbage.
No, I think this is a guy that would defend Star Wars Last Jedi to the core.
Oh, no. This is a guy who would defend Rings of Power.
Yes. Making all the excuse, like he's basically saying that Julio's allowed to have a bad start as long as he picks up second half. But here's the thing again: what if he doesn't pick it up? Then we're screwed. Then what? Oh, he just had a bad year. He'll bounce back next year. The pitch, and here's a fly ball to left field and fouled. That's the thing that these. I mean, you can tell that you see it on the YouTube comments that I don't get along with Mariner fans well.
Yeah.
Like, I beef with Mariner fans than I've ever... I actually have never gotten into one argument with an Astros fan. Not even once.
Well, we know that you are just a secret Astros admirer.
Swinging and a miss, strike two. I know, because Jordan Alvarez is on my fantasy baseball team.
Yep, despite being injured.
He was my first-round pick. It hurts.
That definitely aged well.
Nope. And now the 0-2. Swing and a miss at the dirt, strike three, and that is going to be one out.
Yeah, they've I just looked on the All-Star ballot because I just put my votes in.
Gamer 11, there's nothing wrong with Julio. He's a superstar. Maybe he's not a good player, but he's young. He's only 24. Oh, look at his exclamation marks. You can tell that that's just all sarcasm.
Yeah. But, like, a great comparison is Julio and Jeremy Pena. Literally, those are a great comparison because they started at the same time.
I have a better case study. Bobby Witt Jr. Now the pitch to Christian Campbell.
Bobby Witt Jr. as well. Just with Bobby Witt, he started a bit later.
No, he started. Oh no, he started 22.
Oh, he did.
He started
because I only remember hearing about him like the last.
Now we're at 0-1 for Christian Campbell, and now the pitch, swing and a miss, strike two. Now, but here's my thing. My thing is, I forgot. Of course not. The J-Rod show is here. You all just haters. I love it. The 0-2 for Christian Campbell. The pitch, low for a ball, and that is ball one. No, so Bobby Witt Jr. I think did I talk about the Instagram comparisons already? Like Julio's like a flashy boy.
Yeah.
And then Bobby Witt Jr.'s Instagram's like extremely professional.
Yeah.
Now Julio's is like not professional at all. The 1-2.
All he needs for a ball is Hector Neris to get him back on track.
Yeah, maybe he needs a little Hector Neris kick in the butt.
Yeah. Hey, Angels, you want to bring out Hector Neris?
I saw this one Twitter guy from Dominican Republic, the 2-2. And that is strike three called, and that's going to be 2 outs. So basically, he was saying that Eugenio Suarez is a liar. Now, this is a guy from Dominican Republic, so he knows the culture very well, obviously. So in Venezuela, they think that it was him calling him whatever. But Dominican Republic's like, no, it's just calling him a wussy.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. Suarez, Suarez, honestly, he just did it because he had to defend his little brother, which I don't fault him for it. And now the pitch, because Julio, unfortunately, still needs that big brother, which he doesn't have right now. I think that's another reason why his numbers went down, because he doesn't have that older brother.
Now, I will always say it's that money. It's the money weighing his pockets down.
Now the 1-0. Now here's a liner to right field, and that is going to be a fair ball into the corner. That's going to go to second base. This is Jaron Duran, and he might actually go to third base, and that could be a triple, and he will get there at the third base with a 2-out triple.
Oh, look who comes up to bat.
But
Is
the
that
Mariners
who I think it is?
Abraham
Yes,
Toro.
Yes, it is.
And we've been there together. Well, not been there together, but our teams have interacted with each other involving Abraham Toro. It was that Kendall Graveman trade, which I would assume that
Montero. We'll ship you a 2022 ring for that.
I assume that you have seen it, where I assume that you reacted to that trade like, whoa, the Mariners did this? Really?
Well,
and now
I will say that things were weird in 2021 for me, so I probably did not see that trade.
I did, and I was devastated.
Toro on the team, and then I was all like, "Oh, Toro's gone. Oh, okay." That just because I was just used to it, because it always just seems like the players just keep leaving.
The 1-0 to Abraham Toro, swing and a miss, strike one. If he could hit 190, he'd be the best player in baseball alongside Judge and Ohtani. I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
Which I'm saying, he's the best baseball player when he wants to be.
And I'm also going to say this, like one reason why, and this is why I always like
1-1. What you like doing the what?
The Pena and Julio comparisons, just because that Pena never really had like the big explosive start. He was good, but he was not, like, with the exception of that 2022 playoffs.
2-1. Now here's a ground ball, and that's going to be a diving stop. Cole Young, the throw to first, and that is not in time, and that's going to score in the run. And that hesitation by Cole Young really did not help at all. So now Boston now has a 2-0 lead as Abraham Toro is able to score against his former team.
Yeah, definitely juicing at 27 years old.
Have you seen his neck?
I'm all like, no, if there was one that you wanted to say was definitely juicing, just by looking at
here's
his head,
Anthony, and that is going to be a strike.
Yeah, that guy's head keeps getting bigger.
Roman Anthony hit a home run in the first inning. That actually brought his batting average all the way to 111. And I think he's actually one of the new prospects of the team, hence why his numbers are so skewed.
I think he is. But, yeah, the
now
thing
the
was
pitch,
that he didn't have the
for a
flashy
ball.
start. We saw a great thing in that 2022 playoffs. And then in that 2023, it was more of kind of the same. 2024 flashes of
1-1, and now the pitch,
still
swing and a miss, strike two, just
more
one strike away, and we could actually get out of this inning.
And now coming into this season, he has looked really good.
Jeremy Pena. Now we're at 1-2 for Roman Anthony, one of the younger players. And now the pitch.
Also, Houston.
And a check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. And that's going to be strike three. But however, the Mariners give up another run once again. And we go to the bottom of the third inning. And it is no score. It is 2-1. I almost said no score. I wish it was no score.
2-1.
2-0. I wish it was 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1 would be nice.
This season, they're talking about defense. Okay. Dating back, they're talking about, okay, outs above average. Okay. This guy is now just changing subjects on himself.
Okay. Look, I'm about to post the score. You're going to love it.
WRC plus is the highest ninth. Okay, cool.
I'm also going to tell you that WRC Plus can be greatly like
This
it can lie to
article,
you.
I'm reading this article the best I possibly can. It doesn't explain anything.
Do you see that score I just posted?
Oh, how about this? To be clear, fans are entitled to fan however they please. Then why are you being so critical about it?
But
I
I will
can't
tell you
fathom
that-
being so sour on someone as talented as Julio and valuable as Julio. He's not that valuable right now. He's not even the best player on the team right now.
Yeah. And I will tell you that WRC Plus can lie to you very easily. A good way to know, the 2020 Mets have one of the highest team WRC Pluses ever. Like they're up there with the 27 Yankees.
Oh, the Angels won. Oh my God.
The 2020 Dodgers, the 2017.
Wait, here is Dom
Astros,
Canzone. Let's see if he strikes out on the dirt. And that's going to be a strike.
and the 2019 Astros, and a few other teams. And
Canzone is 0 for 1.
And the crazy thing is I think on that list is
The pitch.
every team
Low for a
except
ball.
the Mets from 2020 competed for the World Series and either won it or lost. Except the 2020 Mets. And you're all like, what the hell are the 2020 Mets
The
doing?
1-1. And a swing and a miss, strike 2. That was right down the middle.
They had a great WRC Plus. They just were not clutch at all.
That guy, Luke, failed to bring up, like, all he brought up was just numbers.
Well, and also
the 1-2.
What about the clutch factor? How many times has Julio been in a situation we joke about, oh, he's going to strike out here. It's bases loaded, and he strikes out.
Let's see what is. Man, this guy's like, I don't know. And now the 2-2. And now here's a fly ball to left field, and that's actually going to drop in for a base hit. And now the Mariners get a man on base with a man on first base. And now next up to the bat, it is going to be Ben Williamson. Canzone seems to have a slightly better approach this season than he has in years past.
Jose Altuve gets his 11th home run of the season.
And now here's Ben Williamson up to the plate. He has a home run and batting .256, and now the pitch. And that is going to be inside for a ball. Now we're at 1-0 for Ben Williamson. And the pitch. And that is going to be in there for a strike. Now that's going to be 1-1. And now the pitch again. Now here's a ground ball and foul. Trying to get the comments. Almost no one.
Yeah, it's just 8 or 11 and me posting scores.
Now we're at 1-2. And the pitch. Now here's a ground ball, and that's going to get right through for a base hit. And now you got runners on first and second. And now it is going to be Cole Young up to the plate. And if you could load the bases, that gives J.P. Crawford the opportunity, because right now he's the best Mariner on the team with the bases loaded. And arguably one of the best players in all of baseball with the bases loaded. So if you want a guy with the bases loaded, J.P. Crawford is your guy.
Yeah.
And now here's Cole Young, and see what he can do. Cole Young, the first-round pick of 2022, the pitch. And that is up high for a ball. He's batting .209, so he's been taking some time to really get it going, because he really has to. And in my room, it's really, really hot. My AC isn't working very well. And now the 1-0. And that is going to be a strike this time. But luckily, I use an iPhone and this plug-in thing.
Oh. Oh.
Now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 2. But yeah, that article, it's like it didn't even defend it. It basically just summarized what he does year in and year out. That's basically what it said.
So you're trying to say he's essentially
the pitch. Now here's a liner to left field, and that is going to be a base hit. And now the bases are loaded for J.P. Crawford.
But his peaks aren't nearly as high as Bregman's.
Yeah, so the guy basically said nothing.
Yeah.
He doesn't like me either. I also beef with him because of the whole T-Mobile Park. And all he does is like, here, read this article that some guy from MLB wrote. It's like, no, give me your reason why you think what we can do at T-Mobile Park. He basically says he doesn't know.
Well, I think that's probably more than what the Mariners organization, knows what to do with the park.
Bring the fences in again?
Or
the pitch.
Calling it Safeco.
High for a ball. J.P. Crawford has 5 career Grand Slam home runs. He hit one against Cleveland this season.
Or better yet, just go in full with that Nintendo sponsorship, and it's just Nintendo's, park.
I think there was another rumored name of Starbucks Grounds.
Though Grounds would be interesting because I'm trying to think of the last time a stadium was called Grounds.
Polo Grounds.
Yeah, other than Polo Grounds.
Then nothing.
But if you call it Grounds, you kind of have to make it look like the Polo Grounds. That's just kind of a stipulation.
1-0 on J.P. Crawford thus far. With runners in scoring position, he actually bats .340, so he's actually been an effective player for the Mariners this season. Surprisingly. And now the pitch. Up high. Oh, no, that's going to be a strike. The umpire changed his mind.
But, no, just imagine that. Yeah, we're going to make, the park even harder. We're going to make it like the Polo Ground. So if you don't really hook it off, you're screwed.
Swing and a miss, strike 2. And again, we have the bases loaded with nobody out.
Hey, at least your park would be known for triples. Because you would probably be able to get them.
A lot of easy cycles there. Has to be.
Well, yeah. The hardest one would be the home run because you would have to pull it.
You really do. The 1-2. Now here's a ground ball foul, and J.P. Crawford's really trying to stay alive. Can J.P. Crawford hit another grand slam? I wonder if there's anyone that has hit 2 grand slams in 2 days. We've seen 2 grand slams in 1 inning back in 1999. Fernando Tatis Sr. versus Channel Park, the 1-2. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, and a huge blown opportunity. And now it's up to Julio Rodriguez to see if he could prove my video wrong. And Julio, I made this video just for you to give you an opportunity to prove Rooftop Sports, the hater of Julio, wrong.
Huh. There probably has been. You just have to get the circumstances right.
Now here's Julio, the pitch. And that was right down the middle for a strike, and he doesn't even swing at that. But he'll swing at stuff at the dirt, right?
Yes.
He has 2 career Grand Slam home runs, one from against Texas in 22, and one this year at Chicago. And now the 1-1 pitch, and a big swing and a miss again, right down the middle.
He's
and
trying
that's
to
going to be
murder
strike 2. He's trying to murder it. When Julio is just too streaky, he's just too streaky of a guy to be going for bombs.
You know, the interesting thing is I'm pretty sure I've read that it's actually mathematically impossible when the roof is open to be able to hit the roof in this park.
I guess so. As we're at 0-2, the pitch. Low for a ball. He actually doesn't swing at that one. I thought he was going to. He looked tempted, and that's going to be 1-2 for Julio Rodriguez. Imagine if the Mariners cannot score with the bases loaded.
Yeah, watch him hit into a double play here or something like that.
It could very much happen, and that would be just a total Julio thing to do.
Yeah.
Now we're at 1-2, and now here's the pitch. And that's he reached out for it, and that's still gonna be a foul ball.
Because apparently, like, someone did the math for it, and you would have to hit like a ball like 600 feet or something like that.
Yeah.
Which, since the furthest has been in the 500s, that means
1-2.
no.
The pitch low for a ball, and that is going to be 2-2. Now 2-2 again for Julio. His strikeouts have decreased this year, though, but not enough. Another 2-2. And a swing and a miss again. Strike 3. And that is going to be 2 outs. And if I were Mariner fans, are they booing him?
No. This is in New York.
Yeah, and I think this moment really validates my video even further. I wonder if I'm going to get more views for that.
Oh, did you also hear that Ohtani is pitching today?
Yep. How did
He's
he
already
do?
given up a run. He's already given up a run.
I see.
And
now here's Cal Raleigh up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. And Cal Raleigh's really got to get it going because he's actually struggled in the month of June.
Let's see what Ohtani's ERA is. It's 9. A 9 ERA could be.
If I'm a Dodgers fan, I'm totally against the idea of Ohtani being a pitcher. I'm against it.
Honestly, I don't think it's going to last too long. They're only doing this because they know they can sell.
It's going to be a strike. They just want to sell tickets.
You get the tickets,
but maybe just make him a closer.
Oh my god!
Now we're at, and the crazy thing is he's still allowed to bat too, because he can be a designated hitter and a pitcher. Hence why I call it the Shohei Ohtani rule. I think it's stupid.
Yeah. No, you're about to think this is really stupid.
And now the 0-2. Oh, what swing and a miss at the dirt, strike 3. It was so bad. I dropped my fan.
Bases loaded
with nobody out.
3 strikeouts
in a row.
And that's some really crap pitches.
It's really embarrassing. You know what? I have to do this again. The 0-2 pitch.
You gotta love these guys.
I mean, he literally just swing. He literally just swinged at
None
the
of those
dirt.
were in the strike zone.
It wasn't even in the strike zone, and he just swinged it. Like, why?
Like, literally, that wasn't Taylor Scott being good. That was just really you just swinging at crap. These at-bats, I'm just going back through them.
Pain.
They pained me.
Like, does Luke Arkins even pay attention to these kind of games?
It's hilarious. Literally, every strikeout is outside of the strike zone.
Way outside.
Julio Rodriguez play baseball isn't the whips or the called strikeouts. It's that you can see the talent, the flashes, and bursts of baseball brilliance. He'll go through a week where he's launching 450-foot bombs, stealing bases with ease, gliding in center field like prime Andruw Jones. Then he'll disappear. Then we see breaking balls in the dirt swung on and missed, meat grounders tapped to short, whining in the dugout, and a player who looks checked out. Let's look at the monthly splits from the 2024, the most recent full season. They tell the story better than any words can. In April, he slept-walked through the first month. In May, he did a little bit better. In June, he was absolutely dreadful. In July, he was hitting at MVP level. Then August, he went cold again. And September and October, he had that strong finish. And his OPS in July 1st was a 1.122. His OPS in June, 0.574. That's not development. That's a light switch being flipped on and flipped off. And
I think they're just making excuses for Julio because they don't want to admit that he is one streaky mofo. As we are back from the break,
you just keep turning this on and off, on.
And if you say anything about Julio, they'll bring up his B war.
Yeah. The baseball reference war,
Woo!
I know I do look at Baseball Reference a lot, but I know B-WAR isn't the be-all, end-all. Neither is F-WAR. WAR just... Ugh.
Now the 1-0
What is it good
Carlos
for?
Narvaez.
Absolutely nothing.
World Series, baby.
Yeah. I think you should just that moment of the strikeout. I think you should then play the audio. World Series, baby.
And the
3
1-1.
strikeouts in a
Swing
row.
and a miss, and that is strike 2. Yeah, the video is titled "What is Wrong with Julio Rodriguez?" And I think that is a legitimate title. There is something wrong with him. Now we're at 1-2 for Carlos Narvaez. And now the 1-2 pitch.
Now,
And that's going to be a foul ball.
so people bringing up his B-WAR. Again, doing the Pena Julio comparison. Julio has a 19.3. Pena has a 17.1.
1-2. Now here's a fly ball to left field, and Rosarena's there, and he makes the catch. And you know what's the worst part of the Mariners leaving the bases loaded? Their bottom 3 hitters were the ones that contributed, and then the top 3 hitters just completely just choked.
They all turned into Casey. And if you know the reference, you know the reference.
Trying to figure.
Yeah. Casey comes up to the bat with the bat, and he strikes out.
Now here is Mayer up to the plate. And now here is the pitch. And that is going to be in there for a strike. I do think the criticisms of Julio is well warranted.
Yeah. But yeah, to say that he's a superstar when Pena, no one has ever said he's really a superstar. Like there are moments that he has.
Now the pitch.
That are superstar.
And that is a foul ball.
But the fact is, when you look at their Baseball Reference WAR, they're only separated by 2 points, essentially. That's not superstar. Same amount of seasons, roughly the exact same amount of the bats.
0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's going to be 2 outs. And Logan Gilbert, aside from giving up those runs, he's actually been on fire. And with the excitement of them, looks like the Pacers are cutting it down to an 8-point deficit.
Yeah, an 8-run deficit. Yeah.
When basketball and baseball collides.
Let's do some drills.
Now we're next pitch. And now here's the pitch to Story. And a swing and a miss, strike 1. I think this is now 7 strikeouts for Logan Gilbert.
Yep.
Kevin Kirby, if I'm the third base coach, anytime you get a hit with a guy on second, I'm sending him in. Even Cal needs some criticism. He is struggling right now. He is struggling.
The torpedo bat can only do so much.
The pitch. I mean, I remember I said that in a live show where it's like the torpedo bat cannot save him.
Yeah. Well, I think once pitchers figured out the torpedo bat, they've kind of made it a moot point mostly.
The 1-1. And that is going to be a 2-1. Maybe they should just start corking bats.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that they've actually proven multiple times that corking your bat does nothing.
Doesn't that make it slightly lighter?
Thing it does is it makes it break easier.
It does break. It like splits in half.
Well, because you have to drill a hole in your bat. That's why.
I wonder how Sammy Sosa even would benefit from that.
But no, like the funny thing is they've actually proven multiple times that corking your bat does nothing. No. You know, why use wooden bats? We can just use aluminum bats.
Yeah, because aluminum bats, those things will go distance.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. 90s aluminum bats. Oh, you want to have Barry Bonds' record be broken? Oh, someone will break that in his sleep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, you could have someone like
Oklahoma just made a 3-pointer.
Power hitter, like
they just brought it to within a 5-point game.
You could have someone like Jose Altuve hitting 50 home runs with an aluminum bat.
2-2, the Trevor Story. You know, let's put this current Mariners team on the Kingdom, and Julio Rodriguez could be on pace for 50 home runs every year.
Well, he would probably be in contention of winning an MVP every year.
Yeah, but we know the problem is the Mariners offense is not designed for T-Mobile Park, the pitch. And it's not because of T-Mobile Park, it's because the hitters live and die by home runs.
Yeah, because that's why, like, because you remember that one time that I can't remember who you were talking to, but saying that they didn't really like Ichiro in the lineup. One thing that was good about Ichiro being there is he got on base.
Not only that, but he didn't rely on home runs.
Well, yeah.
Now the 3-2 the story.
He was
and that's
not
going to be ball four, take your base.
Well, and the thing is let's take someone like Jose Altuve. He is not a power hitter. Yet you can count on him to hit a decent amount of home runs in a season.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Well, especially since because what he did is when he got his contact where he wanted it, he then worked on his power. But the thing is that the reason why you can depend on him to get at least a decent amount of home runs, it's not like a super amount. It's more like it's somewhere usually below 30. Like he rarely gets close to 30.
That's funny. I saw a Korean commercial that a Korean company is endorsing Shohei Ohtani.
That's ironic.
That would not fly 20 years ago. 20 years ago, that's like there'd be a huge outrage.
Today, that's still kind of a really touchy subject.
It always will be.
Well, no duh. No, that's a no duh.
The 1-1 inside for a ball.
But the thing is that why he's able to get those home runs is he knows how the parks work. He knows, hey, if I hit it over here, I'm most likely going to have a good shot at hitting a home run. I'm not going to hit it straight away center.
We're at 2-1 for Hamilton. Throw to first. That is not in time.
Like what they really should be doing here is building contact hitters. And then if they get good contact, then you try to work on power.
We're at 2-1 to Trevor Story or Hamilton. And now the pitch. And it's a foul ball, strike 2.
Well, for one, I'm just going to say this. Altuve did not cheat. He was on the team, but he did not cheat.
Even with the microphone thing on his neck?
You know how many times they've proven that he was not wearing a wire?
The 2-2. That's going to be low for a ball 3.
That was just a Roldis chokeman being, a Roldis chokeman.
If it wasn't for his 103-mile-an-hour fastball he consistently does, he would not be in the league anymore.
Well, yeah. Well, for one, no one could just deal with his attitude.
Probably why he's such a choker.
Well,
now the
3-2. Why he's not in
swing and a miss, strike 3, and Logan Gilbert gets out of that inning, and that's going to retire the side. That's strikeout number 8 for Logan Gilbert. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and let's watch another video criticizing Julio Rodriguez. Here's another good one, and I really did like this one. Be there in a moment. And here it is.
And there's no reason for this guy should be getting better. He should not be flagging. And everybody's going to say, well, he's got 10 homers and he's hitting 270. It's so much better than he's been in years past. But I'm watching him and I'm seeing I don't see the improvement. When you've already gotten paid and you've already reached that point where everybody says you're a superstar, then maybe your ability to kind of listen to things and make those kinds of changes. Players have to get to capitulation before they change. When you're in the big leagues, you have to hit the wall where you're falling off the cliff. And I think he thinks every day he's going to get hot. The next day, I'm going to get hot. I'm going to get hot. I'm going to get it going. I'm going to get hot. But underneath it, there's a bad base. There's a bad base underneath it. that's going to not allow him to get to where he needs to be able to get to be a great player. And the journey is not easy. There's no reason for this guy should be getting better. He should not be flagging.
Yeah, so what do you think of that?
Well, honestly, I totally agree with it. I think one thing that really hurt that was his contract, getting paid instantly. That was just kind of the instant gratification of, oh, I've made it. Not trying to prove, hey, I can get paid. Like, hey, I'm worth the big dollar here. Because imagine,
Christian, they're barely above 500. That's all I'm going to say. Barely above 500.
Yeah.
At one point, they were actually below 500.
Yeah, until Cleveland just decided not to show up in their series. But the thing is, to Kevin Kirby's comment, is yes, he did know about it.
Here is Jorge Polanco, and now the pitch.
But I'm also going to say this. Mookie Betts knew his team was cheating. I don't know the exact details on how the Red Sox
1-0
2018.
Yeah.
But he was on that team.
Did they even get held to the same account as Houston did? It sounds like they got away with it.
They got called out, unlike the Yankees, where the records were sealed until 2022.
Now we're 2-0 for Polanco. The pitch. And that's going to be popped up, and that is going to do absolutely nothing. And he makes the catch.
But why doesn't Mookie Betts get all the hate? Because he's not a Houston Astros player. If Altuve was on any other team and they had cheated, especially if it was one of the legacy teams, guess what? No one would have cared. It's just because
Christian, it's just one series. Here's Rosarena, big swing and a miss at the dirt.
Also, it's not like the last.
Their best pitchers were not even pitching.
Well, yes, but also it's not been like the last few years where Cleveland had looked pretty good.
0-1.
Cleveland has not nearly looked as good as they have like the last few years.
Well, they were pretty good last year, though. Let's not get twisted.
Well, yes, they did. They look really good. So when the Astros won their series there, and we looked terrible.
0-2.
That was great.
And that's going to be low for a ball.
But this season, Cleveland's roughly around 500, and they just haven't looked good. Like if this was a sweep against Detroit, okay, that's a different thing.
1-2. That's gonna be a foul ball. I don't even think that this. And looks like Oklahoma gets the ball back.
But also, what about all the people in the 90s?
1-2.
When they knew that their teammates were juicing, they didn't say anything. What about those guys? Do they deserve to be banned?
2-2. And once again, swing and a miss, strike 3. And we got 2 outs.
Because it was one of the worst kept secrets there. The only people who really didn't know was the public. Everyone else knew, but Bud Selig got in the Hall of Fame.
Well, David Ortiz, he took steroids.
Well, yes, he did get a test there, though. I will say with David Ortiz is
the pitch.
The time
and that's going to be popped up.
No,
and that is going to be.
They actually got busted on it. Kevin Kirby, they got busted on it around the exact same time the Astros did.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to take
when the Astros got busted, they looked into Alex Cora and what he was doing because he was one of the ringleaders behind this, and he went over to Boston, and then it was noted, Boston was playing a little bit differently at that time. So, yes, they were cheating as well.
Be right back. I'm going to... I got to turn on the thermostat. It's really hot.
Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thing.
And we are back from the break, and now here's an 0-2 by Gilbert, and he does not go, and that's going to be a 1-2. Eduardo Bizardo is already in the bullpen. And now here is the 1-2. And that is going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 1-2 to Rafaela. And now the 1-2 pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 2 still. I wonder if I'm looking at the Oklahoma game myself. It looks like they just got an and 1, possibly. Now we're at 1-2, and now the pitch. Low for a ball, 2-2. Oscar Siakam is at the free throw line. Now we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be fly ball to center field, and Julio should be there. And that is going to make the catch. So you think trading Rafael Devers was a bad idea, huh, Christian? And by the way, it's only a 4-point game between Oklahoma and Indiana. I am set to do Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Finally going to be able to cover a game. But Game 6 is on my way. And now Gilbert is pitching to Campbell, Christian Campbell. And the pitch. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 1. I'm also glancing over the screen of Oklahoma's game. So 0-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. Jalen Williams is now at the free throw line. And he makes that free throw. We're at 0-2 for Campbell. And the 0-2 pitch. Low for a ball. 1-2. Now the 1-2 to Campbell, and here's the pitch. And that's going to be strike 3 called, and strikeout number 9 for Logan Gilbert.
Okay, I'm back. What did I miss?
Nothing so far, but a 9th strikeout by Logan Gilbert, and Indiana is now down by 5 in the NBA Finals, Game 5. And I'm telling you, this game, whoever wins this game basically wins the series.
Yeah.
Because Game 5 is way more important than Game 7. When it went to 2-2.
For the last part.
Why are they just shooting threes? Oh, Siakam made a 3 to cut it to within 2.
But to kind of say with the whole sign stealing thing is it will affect Altuve, but it really depends on how his career finishes up.
0-2-0-1 and a swing and a miss, and that is strike 2.
It,
Kevin Kirby, I like what you said.
Like say he finishes kind of how he's kind of like the trajectory he's on currently right now. Say he finishes with 3,000 plus hits, and 300 plus stolen bases because he already has that, and 300.
0-2. And now here's the pitch. Outside for a ball, 1-2.
That's a very rare accomplishment there. Very few players ever got that. If he maintains his 300 batting average, which, that's kind of the hardest one out of all the stats. If he maintains that.
1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is strikeout number 10 for Logan Gilbert. Nice. And that's going to retire the side, and I got to play another commercial break because I got to get some water. Yep.
We're making half pineapple, half tiki with barbecue chicken. Put the garlic. Put the pineapple on the whole pizza. Remember, they want half pineapple, and the one is going to be tiki. Tiki with pineapple, garlic, feta cheese, artichoke hearts, and the chicken. And we're gonna spread some barbecue on top. And it's ready. Put it on the oven. Let it run.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
I'm back.
Well, saying that question there. Well, since he didn't use the system, he couldn't have gotten extra hits. The only things you could argue that he might have had a bonus in are runs and RBIs, which if you look at them, they're very negligible compared to his 2016 and his 2018.
And now here's Dom Canzone up to the plate. Now the pitch. And that is low for a ball. He actually didn't swing at it.
Oh, yes. The All-Star ballot is very much popularity. And not.
Do you think
so
Cal Raleigh gets voted into the All-Star game as a catcher in the American League? The 1-0.
Any prediction?
Can be a low for a ball, 2-0.
All-Star call-ups? Like the ones
now we're at
your picks.
Yeah. The 2-0, and I haven't even voted the pitch. And that's going to be popped up again. And talk about right now, we're talking about a very brilliant start by Logan Gilbert, and it's already getting wasted badly.
Yeah. But I think Pena probably gets in on his first All-Star game. He's been having a really good start, so I think he's probably going to get in. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if Altuve did actually get called in, just because.
Here's Ben Williamson.
That's even if it is one of his weaker seasons, it's still a very good.
I want to go to this. I honestly am okay if J.P. Crawford doesn't make the All-Star game because that could just give him another chip on his shoulder to play better.
Yeah,
elevate his game even further because. Oh my God, Oklahoma just cannot stop making threes. Now they're up 8 again. Honestly, I think if Oklahoma or when Oklahoma wins, I'm actually going to feel the pain.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm gonna feel it. I'm not gonna hate them for it.
You know, they could pull Houston and go into Game 6 and lose Game 6 and then lose Game 7.
I wonder why Chet Holmgren's complaining. They're gonna win anyway.
But so thing is, going on to what I was saying there is, if you had 3,300, 300, and a 300 batting average, the only other player,
Williamson,
and currently the only player so far to achieve said stat, was Willie Mays.
We're at 3-1.
So while I do think the sign stealing scandal will prevent Altuve from
and a strike,
famous, which honestly not surprising, I still think he gets in. And depending on his stats,
3-2
ballot.
And now the pitch, and that is going to be strike 3 called, and that's going to be 2 outs. Didn't even swing at that one, and it was clearly in the strike zone. I'm just going to put out a tweet. And Indiana lost the ball again. I think Seattle fans are better be prepared. What I see is this. Mariners shit themselves throughout July. Oklahoma wins the NBA Finals. And Adam Silver says no to expansion. And the Seahawks suck. Can you imagine that? That whole combination. I can just see it.
No, wait, we got to make it even worse. What are some other ones? I think the Sounders, their season's over.
I could care less. Oh, Seattle loses their World Cup hosting the pitch, because right now one of their key transit routes for their train, it's way behind schedule. So I could totally see it where the FIFA's gonna be like, dude, you don't have this project ready. Yeah, we're not gonna. You lost your spot.
Houston.
And the 1-2, you always have it. And a swing and a miss, strike 3.
Or another doomsday scenario: the Kraken announced they are leaving Seattle.
I am shutting off the game.
Yeah, just shut it off. Just shut it off. It's
well, I'm gonna be doing Game 6 of the NBA Finals, so I could feel massive pain.
Yeah, it's best to just Oh my gosh, it's Bizzardo.
Bizzardo. After just 84 pitches?
Yep. Bizzardo is in. So Logan Gilbert does not get the W at all. Yo, dudes. The Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you can join it or something. That's what Darth Vader says.
That's exactly how I feel. Also, not to mention, Washington as a state is at a net negative in population over the last 5 years.
Not surprising.
Washington State is actually one of the worst states to be a landlord.
Well, and the thing is because I've been out to Washington State a few times, the only area that's super populated is Seattle. Everything else
and Bellevue
is super remote. Like, I remember going out to North Cascades, which, crazy fact, every year, without fail, in the top 15 least visited national parks in the United States, North Cascades is almost always in the top 5.
Wait, Christian, his first back from the IL? But here's the thing. Don't put in Bizzardo for it. That basically means you just gave up. And now here's Toro up to the plate, the pitch. And that's going to be a strike.
I would have given him one more inning.
I would have given him one more inning too.
Because all you're doing is just wasting bullpen arms.
I'm really going to scream it on Facebook and YouTube. I'm going to say Oklahoma just won the NBA Finals. Does that include, as long as Seattle gets an expansion team, I don't care. That's what I'm going to say. I'm also going to say Oklahoma City Thunder are just one game away from winning the NBA Finals. If Oklahoma wins the NBA Finals, does that include Seattle getting an expansion team? Like NBA can't really F with us any longer, can they?
Well, and honestly, just as I've been looking at it multiple times, there's only 2 markets. And you don't want to do one-team expansions. One-team expansions can go really bad. Because then you have odd schedules, and no one likes that.
Or Seattle just might not even have an ownership ready to go by that time.
That might.
That's what I'm worried about.
Screws them over. But honestly, looking at it, there's a good chance that it's going to be Seattle. Because if they want to get in Vegas, they might even just rush something in Seattle, which may or may not be good.
We're at 1-2. And now the pitch.
One I'm kind of worried
inside
about.
for a ball. What are you worried about?
In NHL, the NHL is now looking at Atlanta's proposal to give them a 3rd team. And I'm all like, please do not do one team. Please.
And a foul ball. Oh, looks like Toro is. Oh, my good. Oh, no. Looks like Toro is in some pain right now. He's actually lying down. He is shaken up.
Yeah.
He took a pretty bad swing. Here's the replay. Oh, the ball actually hit him in the knee. That's what it was.
Ooh, that stinks.
Let's hope that this guy's okay. The thing was, even with that Graveman trade, I actually had hopes for Abraham Toro. He was actually a clutch hitter comparatively to other Mariners players. It's just that Mariners traded him and Jesse Winker to the Brewers for Colton freaking Wong.
So for basically giving up Kendall Graveman, Jesse Winker, and Rafael Montero, you got Colton Wong.
Yeah, pretty bad net trade.
Yeah. That stonks. Stonks.
Now I gotta make a video how the Mariners picking up Kendall Graveman off the street. Or maybe I can just say how the pandemic got the Boston Red Sox Abraham Toro, as we're at 2-2 and Toro's actually okay.
How the Mariners gave.
Now here's a fly ball drilled to right field. If that is fair, that is actually foul.
Oh,
that was a close one.
Just update the Yordan Alvarez one and just say how the Mariners gave Houston 2 World Series rings.
Only 1.
Well, no, it's 2.
Oh, Boston. If Boston wins it with Abraham Toro.
Well, no. Thing is that with Houston, it's actually 2 because Josh Fields was on the Dodgers.
Born in 78 says, do you think Kraken ownership will take? You would think that like they're the favorite, but you just don't know, right?
Well, yeah.
The 3-2. Ball 4, take your base.
But it could actually be any type of ownership because the Kraken don't own the stadium. If they did own the stadium, yeah, you would need the Kraken to be the owner. But yeah, in Game 2 of the 2017 World Series, Josh Fields comes in extra innings in his only relief appearance in a World Series game. And he faces 3 batters, and he gives up 3 hits. The first hit is a home run by Jose Altuve. The second hit is a home run by Carlos Correa, and the third hit is a double by Gurriel.
You know what's the worst part of this inning so far? With a man on first base and it feels really long.
Yeah.
Guess how many outs there are?
0.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think
we're on our second batter.
It still feels really long.
Yeah. But, well, you had that injury delay in there.
We're at 0-2 the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to left field, but Randy Arozarena's there and he makes the catch.
But in doing that and giving up those runs, the best the Dodgers are able to do in game 2 in that inning is tie it. And the Astros then go ahead 2 more runs and win game 2. Meaning, if Josh Fields does not come out in that game, the Astros do not win the 2017 World Series.
Nope. So the Mariners imploded. Not only themselves, but the Dodgers.
Yeah, the Mariners gave the Astros 2 World Series rings.
We got 0-1 for Carlos Narvaez, the pitch. And now here's a ground ball, could be double play ball. Throw to second and the throw to first, and that is in time for the double play. And we will go to the 6th inning. And it's been a while since I played that Julio Rodriguez video. So let's get back into that.
Of Eric Bedard. Still.
2025, he hasn't flipped it on at all. Pitchers have adapted. Julio hasn't. The league figured him out. Pitchers know his swing is aggressive. They're often reckless, predictable, and at times high school JV level. They bait him with sliders off the plate and 4-seamers up, and more often than not, he obliges. His whiff rate is alarming, not just for a supposed MVP candidate, but for any starting outfielder. His swing decisions often seem reactive rather than calculated. There's no plan, no adjustment, just brute force and hope. When pitchers started to challenge Aaron Judge differently, he adapted. When pitchers realized Ronald Acuna Jr. could be neutralized by spin, he adjusted. Bobby Witt Jr. is only just emerging and already shows better pitch recognition than Julio does now in his 4th year. Julio, he hasn't changed, except he's now getting worse at baseball, and at times is just downright bad at playing baseball. This is where things get frustrating for Mariners fans. It doesn't look like a physical problem. Julio is still built like a superhero. He's still built even better than Alex Rodriguez was at the juicing peak with the Yankees. He still covers ground in center field. His sprint speed still ranks near the top of the league. His arm is a cannon, regularly clocked north of 100 miles an hour. So why does he disappear? The answer may be mental. Some guys are wired to grind, to dominate every at-bat, and to hate losing. Julio, for all his charisma, doesn't project that killer instinct. At times, he looks disengaged and detached, as if he's waiting for something to click instead of making it happen. He's one of the most talented athletes in baseball, but he's not locked in consistently. For a franchise player, that's unacceptable. Every time someone brings up Julio's inconsistency, defenders shout the same thing. He's still young. And sure, he's 24, but this is year 4. And
so many excuses. And we are back from the break. But yeah, as soon as the closer and closer Oklahoma gets to an NBA Finals champion, I mean, you had to figure that it was inevitable. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not hating on Oklahoma at all. I don't hate them for it. I can't hate them for it. I want to, but I can't. But here's J.P. Crawford, and now here's the pitch. I mean, the thing I've learned is it wasn't Oklahoma that, quote, stole our team. It was bad Seattle politics that lost the team.
Yep.
And one thing I learned when I was trying to help bring the Sonics back to Seattle with one of their failed stadium proposals, as we got a 2-0, I got to learn the really bad politics of Seattle. And I want to say the L word, but I'm not going to. But yeah, I've learned how vicious those council members can be. And now we're going 2-0, the pitch.
Looking at Oakland, you can see a very similar parallel. But instead of just losing one team, they lost all of their teams.
They lost everything.
Like, yes, we can talk about how the Raiders owner and the Athletics owner, they suck. Yeah, we know that. But
the city
the
had
city,
all this time.
well, and also the thing is it wasn't a recent thing. This had been building since the mid-90s. Ever since
80s.
Mount Davis happened.
Not even Mount Davis, because the Raiders left because their stadium was garbage, so they moved to LA.
You can go even further back before the Raiders left. They used to have an NHL team.
Oakland lost everything.
The
Bad
Oakland
politics.
Seals.
Look at where Seattle is. They have really bad crime rate. They have a homeless problem. As we're at 2-2 and the pitch, the only thing that's keeping Seattle from being really, really bad is that they do have their sports teams. They do have their stadiums. And arguably, the safest place to go to Seattle is sports stadiums.
Yeah.
They have all the maximum security. They have SWAT teams right next door in case if something happens. 3-2, swing and a miss, strike three. And sports is another reason why the All-Star game. Seattle never cleaned up their city. But when the All-Star game happened, they told all the homeless to move away for a week. They told them to go over there. They cleaned
Go
up
to North Cascade for a week.
Yeah, they cleaned up. They even developed an Uber pickup site just for the All-Star game. And now here's the pitch.
I'm also going to say
Julio.
that.
And now
I'm
here's
so
a fly ball
surprised
foul.
Houston has not gotten the All-Star game since, like, what was it, 2004?
Yeah, 2004. They should have another one by now.
Like, honestly,
The
the fact that Wrigley hadn't had one since 1990 was also
that's also pretty insane. But also Chicago, I think, has also safety concerns. But then again, they went to Seattle too.
But like, I would get that if you were doing it, say, the South Side. But Wrigley's actually a nice neighborhood.
It's true. Yeah, they haven't done Chicago White Sox for a reason.
Well, or when was the last time they were in Fenway? Fenway's been a while.
1999.
And you're like two of the most iconic stadiums ever.
And now we're at 1-1. Now the pitch, and that's gonna be a foul ball.
One of
the
them
other
you're
thing,
finally rectifying it. But the other you haven't been since 1999.
They haven't had one. Yankee Stadium has yet to have an All-Star game, the new one.
The old one, it didn't have several before it was torn down, like in the 2000s. So I'm all like, nah, New York, someone else let it get a chance.
Now the pitch, low for a ball. Now we're at 2-2 for Julio Rodriguez, and he's really got to get something going.
But yeah, so like Oakland lost the Seals.
Swing and a miss, strike again. I think Julio is making an excellent case why my video has validity and why that article
blow up.
I want it to blow up. I want people to hate me for it. I do.
It's just going to blow up now.
I want it to, and here's the thing, like that article has been proven wrong. This game has proven that article incorrectly.
Yeah.
Here's Cal Raleigh. Oh, so he has a 128 career WRC plus. Ooh, he's good in his last 3 months. Ooh, he's played the most games in center field.
WRC plus. Let me look up the 2020 Mets. WRC plus.
Did they have like insane numbers?
Yeah, it's one of the best.
Here's Cal Raleigh. Now here's a ground ball right to second base, toss to first in time. And we're talking about a 1-2-3 inning. And oh my God, I'm going to go back to the Julio Rodriguez video. Yeah, Fritz, you want to look at this article. You really do. Just check out this article and let me know how you feel, because it was written by Luke Arkins, and I disagreed everything he said on that video. I really did. And now we're going to go back to Julio and finish off this video.
And in Major League Baseball, experience matters more than age. If you've seen thousands of big league pitches, you're not a rookie anymore. Here's the reality. Juan Soto had a .999 OPS at the age of 22. Acuna nearly went 40-40 before turning 25. Bobby Witt Jr. is a Gold Glove shortstop with 30-plus home run power and far fewer strikeouts. These guys improved with experience. Julio, on the other hand, he has done the opposite. Instead, he's become a worse and worse baseball player with each passing season. Young is not a shield. You don't get a participation ribbon because you're younger than Mike Trout. Julio's been handed the keys to the franchise. He's not being asked to be a role player. He is being asked to lead. And right now, he's not even pulling his weight. This is the part that scares me. The Mariners and their fans the most, the contract. Julio signed a deal that could stretch into the 2030s. At the time, it seemed like a steal. Now, it's starting to look like an anchor. If he doesn't turn it around, if this version of Julio is the one that sticks, the Mariners will be paying.
Here's the thing. Did Clay Bennett lie? Was he all sketchy about it? Well, no, duh. But here's the thing. Where were all the other possible Seattle buyers? Where were they in 2006? Why didn't any of them step up? Where was Steve Ballmer? Where was he? Where were all these guys? So I think
Hiroshi Yamauchi wanted to buy another team.
Or where was Steve Ballmer? Because 2 years after the sale, he was like, "Oh, I want to build a stadium." I'm like, "Then where were you 2 years ago? Was your net worth not much doubled back then?" Like, did you accidentally start making money 2 years later? Where were you?
So currently, right now, I have the list pulled up of like the best teams with like the best WRC plus all time. So this list has the 27 Yankees on top with 126. The 1930 Yankees, the 2019 Astros, the 31 Yankees, the 2017 Astros, the 2020 Dodgers, and the 1976 Reds. And in the middle of this list,
a pie for a ball
with a 123 WRC plus is the 2020 Mets.
Going to Kevin Kirby, like here's the thing, like Clay Bennett, sure, he lied, but yeah, like, and what about this? What about when Greg Nichols like forced the settlement as we got to play by Tellez throw to first in time? Oh, for Game 6 of the NBA Finals, I'm gonna go even harder on all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to summarize everything. Like each quarter, I'm going to be like, okay, this happened. Okay, this happened. And let's go back even further, Kevin Kirby. Barry Ackerley had a stadium deal in 1990 with the city of Seattle where T-Mobile Park is right now. And what did he do? Either he backed out or the city was being so difficult that he backed out anyway. So basically, they just couldn't negotiate to an agreement.
Yeah. And if you want to compare it to a more recent one, like, well, let's not look at the Tampa Bay Rays just because their owner is an idiot. But
bad.
But like looking over at Oakland, there were actually multiple times where it looked like the A's were going to get a stadium, and then something happened.
And Oakland's trying to play the victim and say it was John Fisher's fault, but I think Oakland coughed up something.
Oh no. Well, and if you're just going back to Mount Davis actually plays a big role in why this all screwed up. Like
it did, but it also brought back the Raiders too. And now that's a foul ball.
It was like a Band-Aid. That was the problem. Instead of giving the Raiders what they wanted, they just put a Band-Aid on the issue.
Look at what Kevin Kirby says. I mean, but the Oakland is that kind of a city.
That's the thing is as time went on, like
it got worse and worse.
When they had all four sports there, it was a very nice city.
It was actually a beautiful city.
And then as
something happened,
on, it got steadily worse.
Bad policies
started to stagnate as well.
Yeah, and their real estate prices aren't getting any better. They're still very expensive to live there.
If anything, they've just steadily gotten worse.
And we're at 2-2.
And the quality has gotten even worse there. But
I went to Oakland. It was horrifying to be there.
The thing is that why I bring up Mountain Davis as being the big thing that screwed this whole thing up is what it did is it did two things. For one, it completely ruined
There's a ground ball right to shortstop JP Crawford, throw to first in time. At least they have another team to root for, unlike Seattle. Wait, you're talking about the Golden State Warriors? They're actually in San Francisco. Even the Warriors gave up on Oakland.
Well, yeah, and also the thing is, in those other sports, the people in Oakland do not like San Francisco. So they're not just going to be about, oh, the Raiders left, so I'm going to be a 49ers fan.
Now here's a ground ball right to JP Crawford. Throw to first. And that is in time. Great play by JP.
No.
And actually, 7th inning stretch. We got to do this with the fan in my face. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root for the Mariners. If they don't win, it's a shame. It would be a shame because the Mariners had just swept Cleveland and they're about to screw this up and they had the bases loaded. And Oklahoma's about to win the NBA Finals. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
But the thing is that Oakland fans do not like the San Francisco teams. They don't. They're not just all going to suddenly become Giants fans. They don't like the Giants.
It's a culture thing. You can't force it.
Well,
it's just
and also the thing is that they partially blame the Giants for why the Athletics left because
the Giants like backstabbed them because the A's actually tried to help the Giants stay.
Oh, they did, and then the Giants got petty. And when the A's were looking for a new place, the Giants got all petty about it and did not give that land back.
You know what? I have issues with the Giants because here's what happened. So there was a difference between these two teams. When I called the Mariners, I was like, "Hey, I'm looking to use I would like to access your stadium before the gates open so Jay Trident Podcast and I can do a show together." And then they were like, "Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, here, just sign the paperwork and we're good to go." When I called the Giants because I was the other option, this is what they said. "Oh, if you want to come, if I let you in, I have to let everyone else in. We're the Giants." Yeah, not going to happen. You're not worthy. Like, they're a stuck-up organization. That's all I can say.
Well, yeah, and they got very much petty about the whole thing, and they played a role in why the A's left. But the reason why I bring up Mount Davis specifically is, so first thing, ruin the Coliseum. Coliseum was not savable at that point. Because what you could have done is as time went on, you slowly change the stadium to be more fitting for baseball. And get rid of its
swing and a miss. And Fritz, congratulations for being a loyal member for 2 months. So technically, I guess I've made $15. So the magic number is now $35 to get to the goal of 50. Now the pitch to Polanco. Now here's a ground ball, diving stop, third base, and the throw to first. And that's an infield base hit. And does this get something started?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Put a shoe on your head.
Also, if possible, I would like to at least see you chat for the NBA Finals so you can console with me when Oklahoma wins the NBA championship.
Is that Wednesday?
It's a Thursday, and that's also the same day of Juneteenth. So, Mike, don't even.
That's fine. I have no work that day.
Even maybe I'll have a trio. And now here's Randy Arozarena. And now the pitch. I'm going to first try to see if I can get any of my Sonics friends to be there with me so we can vent together. My goal is I want to get Oklahoma and Sonics fans to fight each other. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think Oklahoma and Seattle fans really don't have much, and then it's a foul ball. The
Honestly,
thing I've noticed, Seattle fans actually do the perpetrating on Thunder because of pettiness. Understood. The Thunder are like, they don't even do anything. They maybe like one or two were like, oh, you didn't care about your team, but it's a very rare number.
honestly, the thing is that you could see it very
1-1.
much change if Seattle gets a team. And that's another thing that is playing in their favor is the NBA is all like, it's an already made rivalry.
Well, I think the rivalry is going to feel artificial than it is natural, and I can explain why. The 2-1, it's going to be popped up.
It would definitely be one-sided.
Yeah, it's going to be just Seattle against Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's like, we don't give a shit. But there's one thing.
If Seattle plays it really well,
the media is going to do it.
Into
the national mainstream media is going to play that rivalry to the core. They will put that game on national television, and that's my thought. The other thing, too, is there is one thing that Seattle fans and Oklahoma City fans agree with. They hate the shared history. Both of them hate it. Because Oklahoma's like, well, that didn't happen in Oklahoma. Why do I care? And so Sonics fans just hate it being there. But if you know, here's my twisted thinking. At least Seattle's getting attention for this shared history. So I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing. At least Seattle fans still get attention for it.
Well, and the funny thing is if the Thunder do win here, this means Seattle gets a free championship.
I thought about that. That's the twisted thinking, right? Because of shared history, doesn't Seattle technically win the championship too?
Yeah, they do.
That's what I'm thinking.
So imagine they hang up 2 banners.
Except, of course, no one in Seattle is going to claim it. Of course not. But on paper, Seattle technically wins the championship.
Well, I will tell you that it wouldn't be the first time that there'd be teams claiming championships that they didn't have in sports. Arizona.
Yeah. Arizona. Which one? Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah. So they, in their history, only have 2 championships. One was in the 40s, and the other one was 1925.
1-0. Oh, and that's going to be wild pitch, and I think Polanco goes to second base. So now we got a runner in scoring position for the first time since like the second inning.
We're just all going to strike out, make it feel better.
I am looking forward to Thursday, except I'm probably just going to cry like a baby. And again. And the other thing, too, is, did I ever tell you that the mayor of Seattle, so there was actually a lawsuit. So he sued Clay Bennett, Oklahoma City Thunder, whatever, when they were the Sonics, and now we're at 2-0 in the pitch. He basically said, we're holding you to the lease because Clay Bennett tried to get out. But the crazy thing is Clay Bennett actually offered $20 million to break the lease. And, of course, Seattle said no, but they sued him, which I didn't think the lawsuit made sense. And they went with it still.
Yeah.
And here was 2 scenarios. As we got a ball 4, take your base, but now the double plays back in play. Mayor Peckman, not Mayor Peckman. Judge Peckman was going to make 2 decisions. The first decision, if Seattle wins, they stay 2 more years. If Seattle loses, they get 1 more year. But what does Greg Nichols do? The mayor? He decides to do a settlement and just takes the damn money. And I think he pocketed most of it. Let's be real. Did that money really go towards Key Arena operation? No, it did not. He took the money. And now the pitch.
Well,
no. Are you serious? Infield fly rule. Dom Canzone right down the middle.
But I will say, at least when you get an NBA team back, you can wear the Seattle Supersonics colors.
I heard that the next owner doesn't even have to pay for it because of shared history rules. And the mayor agreed he agreed to shared history. He agreed to it.
Yeah. But
he didn't have to.
Do you know why I say that?
Why?
Because I would really love if my Texans could wear the Columbia blue.
Pitch to Williamson, low for a ball. Are the Mariners really about to waste another 2-men-on situation? Plus, they're probably going to.
Yep, they are. They're going to do it.
Like, this game has been so depressing. Like, I don't even have any shorts to put up on this. The 1-0.
Oh, no. You got some shorts
Right.
early on, Red Sox, too. Red Sox thing.
No, I'm good.
You got a bunch of bloopers.
No, not that good. The best one was it was the extra innings against Houston.
Oh, yes. He gets a hit. Oops.
And strike 2. And you just burst out laughing.
Because I'm looking at MLB.com, I'm like, what hit? What hit?
And I was like, oh, it was just a
commercial.
Maybe I can find it. I do save these videos for a reason. Now we're at 1-2. Now the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. And that is going to retire the side. This is depressing. And I'm going to play this right now.
My point is it's across all Seattle sports. It's this idea, like people pleading 3-4 years ago to bring back Ichiro. When Ichiro's like 93 years old. I'm like, no, I do not want to bring back Ichiro. Like Griffey when he's got a walker out there and he gives you a single every 60 games. Like the list goes on and on. Like people crying, like Haniger comes back, and you think that we just signed a Hall of Famer. Like he was injured all of last year. He's like 33 years old. We trade for him, give up on Robbie Ray, which whatever, and all of a sudden, I swear, all of Twitter is like, "World Series, baby! Let's go! Let's go!" He was a negative WAR player for them last year, but because we love Hanny, baby. He's going to come and save the Mariners.
I'm trying to see if Chad wants to join. I'm trying to get him in.
World Series, baby.
It is iconic. Mariners. Josh, you just wrote. Mariner strikes out 3 times in a row. Mariners fan. World Series, baby. Mariners up 4-0 against Houston in the ALDS. World Series, baby.
Seeing the next comment. Oh.
The only thing I gotta say is that Robbie Ray was garbage with Mariners. Remember Alvarez, but that wasn't Robbie Ray's fault. That was
No. Mariners up by multiple runs and 2 outs in the 9th inning with Yordan Alvarez coming out. World Series,
baby.
What do you mean we lost the game?
Oh, I saw some Facebook comments after the Mariners lost that game. Fans still were like, it's just one game. No. That was more like, it's just one series.
Oh, it's just one team.
Oh, it was just one hit. Oh, here's a ground ball, and that's going to be a base hit. And this game gets even more depressing.
Well, the issue is that if you walked Yordan, you had Bregman coming up, and Bregman had already had some hits. So
yeah, he had a home run.
It was not a
good I think it was just let Paul Sewald finish it.
Well,
See what he can do.
You should have let Paul finish it.
Especially with 2 outs.
But walking Yordan was not going to get you anything.
No.
If anything, you might have made it even worse.
Oh, and they're bringing out a new pitcher, Trent Thornton, because they're bringing out all these scrubs because they feel that this game's over. They're like giving up on this game because the offense is just absolutely just a disaster.
But yeah, with the Athletics, so the Mount Davis, the city and county paid so much money on this really bad stadium upgrade that they are still paying it off until 2030.
That's insane.
So all that money that they could have used to, keep the Raiders, keep the Warriors, or keep the Athletics was all tied up in Mount Davis.
A section that it probably didn't even need.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, had you not done Mount Davis, the Athletics most likely stay in the Coliseum for the foreseeable future.
No.
all you would have done is just you would have changed the stadium to really rip out a lot of the football additions and parts to it to make it more baseball oriented. And
Also, go
it
ahead.
would have been a nice looking stadium too.
I found the blooper if you're ready for it. It's processing right now. Oh boy, it was really embarrassing.
Well, it wasn't that you walked Hensley, you pegged Hensley.
Yeah.
But it was also ball 4.
Oh, here's a ground ball, and that gets right through for a base hit, and that's going to score in the... Wait, that was just a commercial. Oh, my God.
I'll definitely clip that. Because I'm just... As you're saying this, I'm all like, what? I'm looking on MLB.com like, what? Wait, where's this hit?
Yeah, where is the hit? As we've got Duran, another pitch, and that's going to be in there for a strike. Oh, yeah, even Paul said I scared him for that.
And the crazy thing is that was this season. It feels like that was ages ago.
I know. Oakland Coliseum was cool with the football field in the middle of it. Baseball field in the middle of it. Surprised no one tripped over the bases.
Well, simple. They removed the bases when they were playing football.
Well, maybe they didn't. Maybe that's why Jamarcus Russell sacked himself.
Well, now the dirt was still out there.
The dirt was.
During
which
baseball.
Was pretty distracting.
Though it did give it a really iconic look.
It did.
You knew you were playing at the Coliseum.
Now the 0-2, and that's going to be a foul ball.
But the thing is that if you don't have Mount Davis there, that part of the field, there wouldn't have been all those stands there, and it would have looked kind of like Dodger Stadium.
0-2. And that's going to be a fly ball to left center field, and Julio is going to be there, makes the catch. And that's going to be 2 outs. And he has to go all the way back to first and no throw to first. He actually had a chance for a double play.
Yeah. I think if he had made a further effort to go to third in his run, they would have done the double play there.
Ugh. Man, this game's really been putting me to sleep. What's your take on the movie Moneyball? I think it's a beautiful movie, but I think that Moneyball movie has aged horribly because not only did it somewhat lead to the A's becoming what they became, but also the Mariners are one of the teams that or baseball teams in general are just overusing analytics. Like they're taking it. And here, the thing that the movie really kept under the rug was they kept saying their replacement pitcher for Jason Isringhausen was Chad Bradford. It was actually Billy Koch, and that was not mentioned. They didn't mention MVP level performance from Eric Chavez and Miguel Tejada. They also had three of the top starting pitchers in their rotation and arguably of baseball. And now the 1-1. And also they had Jermaine Dye at right field. So there was
I'm also going to say this. The greatest film to just completely throw out most of Moneyball is did you ever watch the film Trouble with the Curve?
No.
That was the one that had a
1-2.
It was like Clint Eastwood, and his character's much like the old style scout who's more about the feel.
Yeah,
and they're all like, "Oh, the analytics said this player is great," and they're all like, and he's all like, "No, I don't think he is." And they literally have this nobody that his daughter just finds on the streets who can throw a baseball pretty well. And literally he just whizzes them past him.
Swing and a miss at the dirt, strike 3, and that will actually retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and it's getting much more hopeless. My favorite movie right now, other than Major Leaguer, Moneyball was going to be my favorite baseball movie, but then the whole analytics thing got overblown. I like Bull Durham's up there with me too.
Baseball films. You know, the funny thing is, I haven't actually watched that many baseball films other than like
Also, you would like bench warmers, but the problem with bench warmers, it was basically a bunch of middle-aged dudes beating up a bunch of teenagers in baseball
and mailboxes.
Yeah, so
I do remember the mailbox scene.
It was basically just a stupid comedy movie, but then it eventually kind of gave you, once you get older, it kind of gave you just the wrong idea. But the intent was to save the nerds. But I think what they should have done was
I did also watch Angels.
They should have developed the nerds. Like those three should have just been the coaches and then just get all those nerds to play. That's the problem I had with that movie. I mean, it was a funny movie, but the message was just weird.
Then I've also seen Major League.
Who hasn't? Spring training starts the first. Oh wait, no. This guy here is dead. Cross him off then.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today.
How about this one? Come on, Dorn. Get in front of the dang ball. Don't give me this Olay BS. Look, I just took one in the face last year. I'm not gonna lose my sight. I'm deeply moved. Every time you play off your hips, you owe me 40 sit-ups. Hey, Lou, you see that? About the sit-ups you want me to do? Sure. Yeah, I don't have to. My contract says I don't have to. And he just takes the contract and just pisses on it.
Or don't you ever do that again.
No, it was nice catch, Hayes. Don't ever do that again. Because he was like, don't catch it like a fool.
Yeah.
Josh is Houston. Yes, he's a Houston Astros fan. We're at 1-0, and now here's the pitch. And check swing. Did he go? He did not. That's
Sadly,
gonna be
I do not have my Jordan ALDS win percentage shirt. I thought, there was a reason why I didn't bring it up here. I thought it would be in poor taste.
La 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 la. You know, I had a video talking about that. The 2-0.
Well, no,
Astros
actually made shirts that they sold at the store. That was the win percentage graph.
They just had to do it.
And then when it goes down to when it goes to Houston, there's a picture of Jordan Alvarez.
And a lot of Mariner fans got so offended by it. It was like, well, you got like people like Bob Stelton, that Seattle sports guy. He literally asked for a rivalry, so he asked for it. And then Seattle fans just pivot back and no, that's just disrespectful. How about don't?
The funny thing is around that same time, wasn't the media trying to hype up like an Astros-Yankees rivalry?
Yeah, of course they did.
And what was hilarious is during the season, the games would be competitive, and then they get to the postseason, it's almost always one-sided.
Except 2017 when it went to 7 games.
Well, and 2019 because it did go to 6 games, but the fact that Houston has won every series that they've faced the Yankees in the playoffs says something.
And the
Going
Yankees
all the way back to 2015.
Now we're at 1-0 for Cole Young at the base. It's gonna be low for a ball. 2-0, and now I think the catcher is gonna have a chat with the pitcher from the bullpen, and the catcher's probably gonna say, "Dude, relax,
suck,
it's the Mariners."
You suck, man. That's what.
Something like the catcher's just saying, "Hey, it's the Mariners. Relax. They're not gonna do anything anyway."
But imagine if Houston wasn't there in 2015, 2017, 2019, and 2022. You know how insufferable these last few years would have been?
Can't imagine.
Well, because that would have meant the Yankees most likely in all those years probably go to the World Series.
Most likely.
Well,
A-Rod could have had another
2017,
chance.
2019, and 2022, they go to the World Series.
And the 2-0, 3-0. And Paul, I don't think it's so much that he likes the Mariners. It's just more like...
I like this channel.
He just likes the channel. There's a huge difference.
Yeah. There's a huge difference.
Now we're at 3-0 for Crawford. And now the pitch. Ball 4, take your base. And here comes Julio Rodriguez. And this is his opportunity. You know what? I think I have to give him a little motivation speech. Here you go, Julio.
Motivation.
Here's a question Seattle fans don't want to hear, but need to ask. Is it time to boo him? Not in a cruel scapegoat way, but in a wake the hell up way. In New York, you get booed for underperforming. Stanton, Judge, A-Rod, it's...
And yep, that's like my motivation for Julio. Like, wake the heck up. And now here is Julio. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. As he is 0 for 3. He has struck out. And he has hit into a double play. And all these people like Luke Arkins are like, yeah, but the analytics back it up that he's actually a superstar because he has 3 bad months and then 3 good months. I need 6 consistent months. And now we're at 0-1. Now the pitch. Now here's a liner to center field, and that's going to be caught. Throw to second. And Julio is 0 for 4.
Or, here, we can wave some more shirts around.
I actually thought that was going to drop.
Yes. Remember when Majestic used to make all the MLB material?
Yeah. You know what?
I miss Majestic.
Here, talk to the hand.
Yeah. Talk to the AL champion.
Here's Cal Raleigh. And now here's the pitch. And a big swing and a miss, and you can tell that he was just going for it. Hey, it's possible the Mariners may have watched my channel when I was pleading for Randy Johnson to get his number retired.
Yeah, maybe.
Now we're at 0-1 for Cal Raleigh, who is 0 for 3. And now the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 2. Cal Raleigh is just really rushing it.
Or, here we go. That's some greatness right here. Greatness.
And now we're at 0-2 for the dumper, as he has struggled in this past week for sure. He's got to get a big hit to at least get something going before Polanco is up with 2 outs. Now the pitch. Outside for a ball, and that is 1-2. One and 2 for Cal Raleigh, and now the pitch. Low for a ball, and I thought he was going to swing at that one, and now it's going to be 2-2 on the big dumper. But yeah, that article really just irks me. Like, it literally explained nothing. He was just summarizing stats.
Yeah.
And saying, I love Julio. As we're at 2-2.
Well, it would have been like something like... It would have been all like, because of this, because the Houston Astros used to have a hill in their stadium, I love Julio Rodriguez.
To be fair, that was a good pitch, but it was nowhere near the strike zone still. And now here's Jorge Polanco, and Mariners are for sure not going to score on this. Just like Dom Canzone.
You gotta love these guys.
Oh, man, I gotta go to Houston. Just let me know when it's not humid.
Never. It's not humid in winter.
Not great. Now the 1-0. And that is a strike. 1-1. And if there was a time for Jorge Polanco to just hit a 3-run home run, the time is now. As we're at 1-1 for Polanco. And the pitch outside for a ball, 2-1. Is that 2-1? He's 1 for 3, so maybe he has a 33% chance to get a hit. And now the 2-1. And that's going to be popped up, and that could be playable, and I think it is playable. Okay. This is depressing. I think maybe if I'm going to see if I have a paper bag. I'll be right back.
I don't know, just do the, Imperial look from Rebels.
Well, let's just finish the Julio video.
It's not personal. It's the standard. You produce or you hear it. Julio's been coddled. The local media tiptoes around him. The team runs PR campaigns to make him the face of the city, but he is not producing. If this were Yankee Stadium, fans would be chanting MVP sarcastically every time he struck out with runners on. And if this were Philly, the boos would be deafening. But in Seattle, too many fans are still clinging to what he could be instead of confronting what he is. Maybe it's time to change that. Julio can still be a star. Let's not get it twisted. The tools are there, and he's not washed. He's not a bust, but he is at a crossroads, and what he does next will define his career. Here's what needs to happen. Number 1, fix the swing decisions. Julio needs to stop chasing, period. Until he shrinks his zone and commits to punishing strikes, he'll be a streaky mess. Number 2, work the count. His walk rate is pathetic for a player of his caliber. He doesn't make the pitchers work. He doesn't flip the script. Number 3, stay locked in. Enough of the hot-cold cycles. True stars show up every month, not just when they feel good. Julio's time as a shiny new toy is over. The grace period has ended. The numbers are what they are. The patterns are clear. No more excuses. No more spin. No more waiting. He has the power to be one of the best players in baseball, but right now, this isn't a slump. This is who he is right now. And unless something changes, unless Julio Rodriguez finally grows into the player he was always supposed to be, the Mariners will be stuck chasing a dream that never quite materialized.
We're back from the break, and I hope that this video really did give you an idea of, like, oh, he's batting .293 in his last 40 games. Yeah, because he's streaky. There's one week he's like hitting like nothing, and there's another week he hits like 400 or something, but you can't do that.
So here's an interesting thing I found out. Have you ever heard of the canceled Star Wars series, Star Wars Detours?
No. Is that the George Lucas one?
Yeah, the one with the Darth Vader saying, "Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill."
No.
Oh, it's a funny little video if you go look it up. But
the one too, outside for a ball.
What it was is it was a kind of a comedic. Like, you remember that Robot Chicken years ago?
Yes.
The Star Wars skits.
Wait, I got this. Your overconfidence is your weakness. Your faith in your friends is yours. Faith in your mom. What was that? I said, your mama's so fat. Jabba the Hutt said, dang. Well, your mama's so ugly that she put the ugg in Ugnaught. Oh, your mama fight. Your mama's so stupid. She spent all day saying, am not to R2. Oh, your mama's so stupid that Ben Kenobi said, that's no moon. That's your mama. As we got a foul ball. Oh, a catch by Ben Williamson. I was so busy with Star Wars interpretations, and Ben Williamson made an amazing sliding catch, but too little, too late. What was it? Your mama's so stupid, she thought Jar Jar comes with pickles. Oh, your mama's so stupid that she thinks a lightsaber has fewer calories. Wait, what? I don't get it. It's like, it's calories. It's good for your body. That's how stupid your mother is. Your mama's so stupid, she went to Bangkok to get a TIE fighter. What are you doing? No, let me out. Splat. Oh, come on. What are they doing up there all the time? And then that poor janitor dies.
But so what it was is it was a series that Lucas was working on, and he actually had a bunch of those writers, and they were going to make episodes that were going to be like that. So there was the one little part that has Darth Vader saying, "Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill."
I heard it was I heard it was supposed to be an in between episodes 3 and 4.
Yes, it was, and there was a bunch of other things, like they make fun of that. They're on like these stormtroopers are on the Death Star and they fall off, and then they're all like, oh wait, it's just a Matt Payton, and they stand up because they haven't finished the rest of
robot chicken people were the ones on the hook for this.
Yeah, they were doing it.
The one thing I don't like about George Lucas is he doesn't like Legends content. He doesn't like. He hated the Mara Jade idea.
But yes, he was doing it, and it was the robot chicken people, and it was going to be done by
Lucasfilm. Did he go?
Animation.
He did not. I had a crush on Mara Jade.
And it was right around the time when they were working on this, was right around the time that Lucas decided to sell.
Yep.
And 39 episodes were completely done.
What?
Yes.
And they won't release it.
And Disney, for whatever reason, has never released them. And we know they still exist because one leaked a few years ago.
Oh my God. They could actually make money on that.
Well, no. As I see it, that is 39 episodes of free content, essentially.
Did you find it?
No. But it's on a Lucasfilm computer because one of the episodes leaked. But so there were 39 done, and occasionally one of the leads on it does occasionally ask Disney, hey, maybe you could release it. Maybe you could release it.
And Disney's like, no.
Well, and what I don't get is they're all about, trying to give this quality content. Put this out. Guess what? If a few people watch it, you've made a profit. Because it's entirely free. 39 episodes are done.
Oh, I don't want to jinx it, but the video's starting to spike up in views just a little bit, not by much, but it's starting to go up. It's like going,
yeah,
because Julio struck out.
Yep. But then what makes it even worse is then they had tons of episodes with the voice work already done, so they just needed to finish animating it, and then a bunch more were completely written.
They just can't finish at the pitch, and it's a ground ball foul.
Now, the weird thing is that when they celebrated the 20th anniversary of Lucas Animation, is they had this image, and it was of all kinds of series that they've worked on. But then if you looked in one of the corners, and in between some people, you see this oddly shaped stormtrooper.
And it's low for a ball. This team gets way easier to follow when you accept that they're not even actually trying to win. They haven't been since they signed Cano and Cruz and re-signed Felix. There's truth to that.
Well, no, ever since the year like 2003.
Yeah, 1 and 2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The funnier part was back in 2021 when things were reopening from COVID, the Mariners and the Washington State, our governor's like, hey, you can go to Mariners games as long as 25% capacity. Has to be 25% capacity, social distancing. And I said, what's the problem? What's the big deal? Mariners fans have been social distancing since 2004.
But
now the pitch.
In one of the corners, there was a oddly shaped stormtrooper, and it is from Star Wars Detours. And people are like, oh my gosh, they actually acknowledge Detours exist.
We're at 0-1 for Trevor Story. And the thing is,
if you ever get a chance, look up Yo Dudes, The Empire is Pretty Chill, and it's a hilarious scene.
Oh my God.
Of Darth Vader trying to be hip.
Yo, dudes, the Empire is pretty chill. What? It's a 6-second thing.
Yeah, it is. It's very quick.
Join it or something. Yo, dudes, the Empire is pretty chill. Maybe you could join it or something.
So that was the 39 episodes they had?
Well, no. That was because they were putting out advertisements, hyping it up.
Okay. Did you find that one episode?
I saw bits and pieces of it because the thing is, people have it, but every time it gets put up, it immediately gets pulled down.
Yeah, because Disney.
But
Star Wars Detour.
Star Wars Detour.
Oh, that's what it is? Oh, come on. That's stupid. The O2.
yeah, it is. But honestly, I'm all like, Disney, why don't you just put it out? It's free content.
Free money?
Well, yeah, it's free content, free money for you.
Deep down, George Lucas really loved the robot. I mean, he authorized it.
Well, and the funny thing is in one of the advertisements for it,
1-2.
he actually shows up in it.
Foul ball. Yeah. Hey, wait. You're George Lucas. I take it that you're one of the fans. Yep, that's me. Look, I am. I'm a Tauntaun. You invented Tauntauns. Okay now. Oh my God, it's George Lucas. Hey, hop on here. I got a bad feeling about this. And I thought they smelled bad on the outside. Now here's a pop-up to shortstop. Talk. Rosarena talks and gets it.
But what was funny about the so apparently is that little thing with Darth Vader there is just a series of advertisements he's been putting out to try to get Imperial recruitments, and George Lucas is directing it, and he's all like, "Cut! It's even worse than the holiday special."
What was my favorite scene? I think the Yo Mama was pretty up there, my favorite. And then when they did Robot Chicken, like the 3rd edition, they didn't give a snot about offending anyone. Like they went all in making it very graphic and very
I'm pretty
weird.
Sure for Detours, the voice work that was done there was pretty much all the people that they used for Robot Chicken typically in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that meant that some of them were actually like some of the actual characters' voice actors. Including they even had Jar Jar Binks.
I feel bad for Jar Jar Binks, actor of Jar Jar Binks, and Jake Lloyd, Anakin Skywalker, because the Anakin Skywalker thing, that really wasn't his fault. And I thought Jake Lloyd was just fine. It was just...
Yeah.
No, and the ironic thing now is people love Phantom Menace. And the worst part is, because Jake Lloyd wasn't 18 years old, he's not getting royalties off that movie. Off of one of the biggest characters in history.
Yeah.
I mean... How much did he actually make on that? It's certainly not enough.
Probably nothing.
How much did Jake Lloyd make off of Phantom Menace? 270,000 to 500,000, but because it's freaking Anakin freaking Skywalker, he got underpaid the hell out of it.
That is nothing.
His net worth is 25,000. This kid's lost everything.
Well, yeah.
I feel bad for that kid.
But then the fact that the voice actor for Jar Jar Binks got death threats over his character, I'm all like, whoa.
It wasn't even his fault. It was just bad
I'm
writing.
all like, blame Lucas on that. That was him.
Except ironically now, people love Jar Jar because of Rose, and people love little Anakin because of, I guess, Rey. And because the politics of it makes sense to today's politics, people love it now.
Well, and also I will say with especially Jar Jar.
And now here's Chapman's up to the plate. I think there's a chance.
Choke it.
All right, let's do it. Let's go.
Think of those 2019 moments.
But let's not
think of Altuve coming up to the plate.
Yeah, or think about when he was playing for the Texas Rangers in 23. The pitch and swing and a miss, strike 2. It's gonna be.
Think about when Altuve's coming up to the plate. See him, and you just have to smile as he runs around the bases.
He swung in the middle. It was literally easy, and now we're at 0-2 for a Rosarena, and now the pitch up high for a ball, 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
But yeah, I'll say another thing about Jar Jar Binks, like one reason why fans have been more appreciative is in later materials, is like in the Clone Wars.
1-2.
Especially, they knew how to use
strike 3.
Jar Jar Binks. Like they knew
Little Annie. Oh no, Jar Jar. I'm no longer Anakin Skywalker.
Jar Jar, my man.
Jar Jar, homie, my main man, quickly, before the Separatists attack, get into the escape pod. Well, wait. If this is escape, then where's the pod?
pod?
And now the pitch.
I'm all sparkly now.
And Vader's like, I
love you, Annie.
Annie, yeah. We're at 1-0. And now the pitch. And that's
then,
going to be a strike.
In the Clone Wars, they knew how to use Jar Jar's character and not make it completely ridiculous, but just enough to make it not overstay its welcome.
1-1, and swing and a miss, strike 2. Looks like the Mariners are going to be choking this one after all.
Oh, the shuttle's been destroyed. Oh, the Separatists? No. Jar Jar? Yes.
How about when Rey shot a lightning on a transport?
Oh, because she got upset. Or no. Did you ever happen? I didn't watch The Acolyte, thank God. But did you ever see that ending scene where bleeding the crystal by just holding it?
What about when Rey cheated on Finn? How about come on, the 2-2? Swing and a miss, strike.
What was funny is, I'm holding the light. I'm holding the crystal, and I'm upset. So the kyber crystal's bleeding, and I'm all like, "That's not how they work."
Nope, not at all.
Well, and also the thing is, because the lightsaber was ignited, it A, shouldn't be working, and B, if it was working, it probably would slice your hand off.
Oh, look who's up to the plate. It's Donovan Solano. Great. We're just giving away outs. Woo! And now the pitch.
Yeah.
And a swing and a miss, strike 1. And I just cannot wait to get outside and get some fresh air. I really can't. After this game. And the sun's still out too.
There is no sun.
Well, yeah, you're in Texas.
Well, yeah.
0-1. Swing and a miss, and it's game time. Logan Gilbert had a heroic effort of 10 strikeouts, but he gave up those 2 runs, including a home run to a rookie and an oopsie by Cole Young. And the Mariners had bases loaded, runners on first and second, and they still came up with nothing. And now it comes down to just 1 strike. And now here it is, the 0-2, and now the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball.
Roman Anthony's first career home run.
What a way to waste everything.
Yeah. Top performers.
Yeah, I'm just going to take off right after this. 0-2, now the pitch, and swing and a miss, strike 3, and the ball game is over. The Mariners will drop game 1 of this 4-game series, and to think about it,
and they don't even have Devers.
They didn't even have Devers. And now, you know what? I got to roll. This is
sad.
This is sad. But everyone, just wanted to say thank you. And unless there's a very vicious rainstorm tomorrow, which there isn't, I'm going to be not doing this game. I won't be there Wednesday. I'll be there for the NBA Finals Thursday. And as for Friday, I won't be there. I won't be there on Saturday because I'm going to Washington State Fair to meet the Cobra Kais and Jango Fett and Boba Fett. And on Sunday, I have... And now to lower the funniness, Sunday, I'm having a huge dinner with my family to pay tribute to my late grandfather from 2023. So that will tie into the Chicago game because hashtag, it's not don't quit your day job, it's hashtag family first. So I'll be doing that. And it means a lot because he's the one that got me into baseball. So the next time I might be able to be there, Monday next week. So until then, enjoy my Julio Rodriguez stinks video and watching me cry when the Thunder win the NBA Finals that's not named the Sonics. Anyways, that is it. And before I go, let me praise everyone. I got Josh for being here, Joe Stevens for your donation, Everyday Mets for your donation, Fritz for renewing your membership, Paul for being there saying, boo, it's over, Kevin Kirby with his mixed comments, Fritz criticizing everyone, Nightbot for trying to help my friend's business. Who else do I got? Anyone notable? Oh, Christian for criticizing my criticizing. I think that's it. All right. I'm out of here. Everyone, good night. And Josh, any last words?
Oh, just go Astros.
Yeah. Okay. Later. That makes me throw up. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.